You have a little piece of paper. I'm just doing a little quick, little piece, if you can get a piece of paper from your neighbor. And you've probably done this before, but I'm going to ask you to do it. In the middle of your paper, like in the middle of my little sheet here, I want you to draw these 9 dots. Okay? In the middle of your paper, in the center, draw these 9 dots. Now, your task, and before you do it, let me tell you what your task is and give you all the criteria. Your task is to connect all those 9 dots using only 4 straight lines. And those 4 lines have to be end to end, except for the first and the last. And you can't lift your pen or pencil off the paper as you draw the 4 straight lines. How many have done this before? How many forgot how to do it? Yeah. Okay, but there, go. Try to do that. Draw those, connect all the dots using only 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen or pencil. As you draw the 4 straight lines, the lines have to be end to end except for the first and the last. How many figured out the solution? Okay, only a small percentage of you. First time I did this with Microsoft, I said, for every 10 seconds that that a third of you can't figure out the solution, Microsoft is losing $10,000 in opportunities. They lost a lot of money that day. What's the key concept you have to have in mind to figure out the solution? Think outside the box. Now, think outside the box, that key concept, that will help some of you and will hurt many others of you. It will help, it can help and it can hurt as well, and we'll see why in a second. Now, how many of you have figured out without looking at your neighbor's solution? Okay, still, only a small percentage of you. Well, just so that we don't spend all day here. Oh. Big aha moment for many of you. Let's look at something here. Okay, now that went outside the box, right? But let me ask you something. I'll just draw a smaller version of what I started with. Okay, we started with something like this, right? On your paper, I asked you to start with something like this. What did you start with? A box? We started out with 9 dots. We didn't start out with a box, did we? There's no box there. It's 9 dots. The problem is your brain saw a box. And it drew your brain, our brains, don't like gaps. We hate gaps of information. We fill it in. And we fill it in with what we already have in our head. See, this egg notwithstanding, we live in a world full of boxes, full of right angles, rectangles, boxes, squares, don't we? All around you, you look, you have right angles. So your brain is primed to see right angles, and it fills in the gaps. It's primed to see boxes, so your brain filled in the gaps. The problem is, it's not a box, and you made it into a box when it wasn't one. And even though many of you knew intellectually the concept of think outside the box, your brain couldn't go outside the box. Yes?